Make sure to yell at your kids on live. Be a man.
Welcome to the Bass and Brews podcast, your weekly distraction from other high-quality podcasts. And now, your host, Alex from Swamp Rat Fishing, and the co-hostess with the mostest, the Jabberhammer, Paul Roberts.
Paul.
Oh, I gotta check. I'm double checking my microphone and shit because I recorded a 2-hour and 20-minute podcast with 628 Dirt Rooster on entertainment educational, and the whole time I was on my laptop microphone. Luckily, Apple has really good products, and so it wasn't terrible. But when I went back and started editing that episode, I was like, "Some bitch."
I love
I'm
that
on the wrong mic.
I love that Paul started this episode. Oh wait, am I on the wrong mic too? Hold on, my mic's not making.
It sounds right, but it ain't making
It sounds
no
fine.
lights. Yep.
Yours isn't making lights either. Anyways, I love that
But
Paul
mine
started
doesn't make
this.
lights because I got it because I'm a bowler and I got it hooked up to a soundboard, and you're a
damn.
peasant and your shit is hooked into your computer.
As long as you guys can hear me, welcome to the show. I
That is
did want to make
terrible.
fun of Paul. I want to make
Hey,
fun
real
of
quick,
Paul.
Christ.
Real
Jake,
quick,
you
make
sure we
fun of
want to
me.
stay on?
Yeah, look, this
Hey,
is
I already
not the
did this
first time
once.
y'all been
I'm
on
here
Bass and
again.
Brews, but this is the first time with being Alex. But Alex definitely needs to check his mic because he's not on his. Oh, there we go. I see the lights.
Oh.
It's like a battery operated dildo. It's warming
Oh.
up.
How about now?
Yep. There the
Is that
Yep.
better?
Now we see
Yeah.
now
Okay.
you sound good.
There it is.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Well,
Vibration
I mean,
mode has
it wouldn't be
been
Bass and Brews if it wasn't like a completely fucked up intro. That's what we do. So,
Nice.
well, that would
Yeah.
be Bass and Brews without Alex. I'm the only one that's ever fucked up the intros.
hold on.
Jesus.
Big shout out and a cheers to when Paul had a group of 3 other podcast people on the show and then let them sit in the green room live because he couldn't figure out how to be a professional host. And then shout out me for being juvenile and actually letting that podcast go out like that, where you can just hear the one
Nice.
cast talking about how they're confused on what's going on. So,
Well, that's all right. Well, I remember the first time Paul and I did something. We had a conversation for about 50 minutes that never got recorded.
So,
yep.
the only time I have ever not recorded was me and Frankie, and y'all, the head cheese, and I had an absolute
That
the
was a
best
great
time
conversation.
ever. And then when
That nobody heard.
I went
That nobody heard.
Nobody heard.
That was it was a
I looked
bonding
at
moment.
Frankie. I went to Frankie and I said, "Dude, we're not recording."
Yeah,
And the life
forget
left
that,
his
dude.
face.
The life.
Frankie
I
is one of the
crawled
most,
into my dryer.
yeah, he's one of the most energetic people. I mean, after that, I'm really we saved that podcast though. I mean,
I
we
mean, mine
saved it.
wasn't that bad. I just had Scuba Steve fall asleep as a co-host. So
Well,
Oh,
Scuba
geez.
Steve is he is hands down the worst podcaster in the world.
Mhm.
I love that guy. He is the worst podcaster. Before we
I
get
saw
too
that.
started, though, Frankie, just so you know, it got brought up on a TikTok live today that with today you move, you're tied into first place with episodes that you've been on this show. And if you guys
Word.
want more fun facts like that, so I went live today on TikTok for about an hour, and I'm going to start doing this.
Nice.
If you guys make sure to follow us on TikTok, I'm doing a pre-show, whatever you want to call it, TikTok live on there. We talked about how we set up for the show and just general questions. We do have some questions from the fans for you guys tonight as we move through this that were directly given on that TikTok live. So make sure you guys follow us over there. That's my super marketing bullshit pitch, but it was a fun time. Something new me and Paul are trying. Paul is the TikTok live master. If you guys want to watch a slightly because he has slimmed down a little bit, I've noticed. So if you want to see a slightly overweight man get real sweaty and cook a week's worth of food, go follow Jabberhammer on TikTok because he's like the new TikTok
Sick.
sensation.
I joined the other day. That fried chicken looked good.
The
Paul, I
fried
gotta get
chicken
you some
looked
Heat Your
fucking
Meat,
amazing.
Paul. I gotta get you some Heat Your Meat. You'll love it.
What?
Well, I will
What?
take all the seasonings that anybody wants to give me, but I make my own, so it's delicious. But I don't discriminate. That's why I love barbecue, because everybody's barbecue is delicious in its own way. So yeah, heat the meat. I got beer dust is what I make. And look, TikTok Live, that's some fun shit right there now. But you gotta be doing something. Like the 3 that I've had that actually done have had viewers and likes and people comment was when I was pulling collard greens, when I was frying chicken, and then when I was cooking bread. I wasn't cooking bread, I was kneading it, stuff like that. It's a good time though.
That was the most sensual TikTok Live I've ever seen. It's when Paul was kneading them bread, and he's like, listen, y'all, you got to give it a little pressure, just enough, but not too much.
Ooh, a little Southern soul, son.
We ain't here to talk about bread or dildos. That was last week's episode. Here today, we got 2 professionals, 2 real people on here to talk about interesting stuff. Now, here's the good thing about this episode, though. We're going to talk about some real stuff, but we got 2 absolute characters on here, too. I mean, Frankie hadn't even said the whoo on us yet. I'm a little disappointed.
Not yet. I gotta wait for the introduction. Then I kind of like, let it rip.
I mean, there's no introduction. You've been on the show.
That's true.
You're at the top. Like, people know who you are. It's
whoa! What up, Slayers?
There it is.
There we go. Now we can start the podcast. Now we need to cut out all the shit that just happened before this.
Paul, I'm not doing any of that shit. Paul, I'm recently employed. I don't have any fucking time to do editing.
Did they take a height test? Because if they did, you're not employed yet.
That's where I have to go tomorrow. Amanda was nice enough to let me borrow some platform shoes, so I'll be able to hit. Yeah.
There you go.
Those high pumps, son.
But it's really funny. Total side note too. Friday, I have to switch my residency to the great state of New Jersey, and I am not happy about it.
Oh.
Total side note.
Panama Canal?
No, from Washington State. So what's great about Washington State, because that's where I'm from. I've kept my residency the whole time I was in the military because you don't have to change. There's no fucking income tax. So I've never had to pay income tax until next year.
Nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Alex is about to get a bill from the IRS.
Yeah.
Because
welcome to the East Coast, son.
He was like 16 years old.
I've lived in Jersey a total of 11 years of my 20 years in the Coast Guard. I lived in Jersey. Never paid a lick of taxes.
How does it work though when you're in international waters?
What do you mean?
And you get a paycheck.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you're in international waters for 4 months, and in the government you get paid once a month.
Yep. No, you get paid twice a month, but okay.
Okay. Same thing. It just equals out to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Math ain't easy for Alex.
It's not.
You're in international waters. Do you have to pay taxes on that? Because do you?
Yeah. So the only time you're going to be exempt from taxes when you're in the military is going to be if you're in a combat zone overseas.
Gotcha.
So you have to be in a combat zone.
Yeah, and actually, I take that back. It doesn't have to be overseas because total side, and I won't dive too much into it. I don't want to derail too much, but during Hurricane Katrina, I was deployed to New Orleans, and I was there for 2 months, and due to the combative nature of what was happening, I got combat zone pay and no taxes. So
nice, dude. I've been to Washington, but speaking of Washington, I liked Washington. Was beautiful. I ain't gonna lie.
I fucking hate it, dude.
Did you?
That's why I'm here.
I mean, being a visitor, I loved it. For a week, it was nice.
I think what's funny is you guys are coming on right. Last week's episode, we talked about how much of an underrated fishery for bass. Washington is, right? We did a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Washington, because I live there, I don't like it. I think it was really funny when I first came out to the East Coast, because I joined the military at 18. My first duty station was in Oregon. I went there and I did my thing. And then I went to school. My school was in Northern California. I went and did that. And when the list came out, when I got done with school, and they were like, you can pick wherever you want, because I had whatever. I got first pick, right? I literally looked on that thing and I went, how far can I go from Washington? I literally tried to pick the farthest, and and they told me I was going to get my first pick, right? So the farthest on there was Attu, Alaska, which is the last island on the Aleutian chain. Like, it's way out there. And some other weird kid got that. Thank God, because come to find out, he went really weird. And and the next farthest, because everything was West Coast, was Atlantic City, New Jersey, the Coast Guard Air Station in Atlantic City. And nobody wants New Jersey in the Coast Guard, because that's where our boot camp is. Our boot camp is in Cape May, New Jersey.
Gotcha.
So nobody wants that shit, right? Yeah. And I picked it, and I got here. And the only part I seen from New Jersey was like boot camp. Like you're on the base, you don't see shit. And I get out here, and this is South Jersey, this is Atlantic County, and it's gorgeous. There's fucking pines everywhere. But then there's also people who are loud, obnoxious, speak their mind, all the things I used to do in Washington and get in trouble for. Yeah. But now I come out here and I get praised. Yeah,
you're home.
It was amazing. I remember going home and visiting people. And it was actually the first time my wife came out. She's born and bred in New Jersey, and she came out to Washington State. And when all my friends from like high school and shit met her, they were like, "Oh yeah, that fucking fits, bro. Like, you must love it there if they're all like that." I'm like, "Yeah, dude." Like, I love it.
That's funny. That's funny.
Like as a I didn't originate in the Northeast. I fucking love the Northeast. It's open. Yeah. It's super open.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
You know we're live.
We are live.
What do you mean?
Look at the comments.
We got comments?
Oh, we're live on Swamp Rat Fishing.
Well, shit. Well, that's a new one, folks. I guess I fucked that up.
A live podcast, folks.
That's funny.
Head cheese. I hope y'all prepared for being live. This means none of this shit's getting edited.
It's all the same shit. Whatever.
I'm looking. How did I fuck that up? All right. Well, yeah. Anyway,
this is part of the subscription. Sometimes you get hooked up with a live.
Listen, this is, if you guys want more of this live content, make sure to go to OnlyFans. Just do onlyfans.com/jabberhammer. And, Are you commenting on our own shit, Paul? Anyways, so we're here. Listen, we're here. We're here to talk about a new endeavor for Frankie and Jake. Correct.
Yeah. Frankie, you want to talk about it?
Sure, yeah. So what's up, y'all? For anybody who might be tuning in for the first time and seeing who myself and
Jake
Stem are. Exactly. Here it is. So we're talking about Slay Nation tournament fishing. If you don't know already, we provide fishing tournament opportunities for the everyday angler across the country. We have online series to live events, kayak series, small vessel, horsepower series. And one thing we're adding to our arsenal for 2023 is we're getting our feet wet in a college kayak series. Similar, just like any other kayak competition. If you are familiar with Hobie BOS, if you're familiar with Bass Nation, things of that nature, KBF events, it's the same kind of thing. It's just for the college anglers. And Jake Stem is actually our director for that. It's a regional college kayak series that'll take place starting in April and running through, when's a championship? What month again? September?
End of August.
End of August. And it's going to range from, places. It's three regular season events, right? So you got to fish all three to qualify for the championship event, which takes place late August on the beautiful Lake Champlain. So if you love smallmouth fishing, that's heaven. Right?
Frank,
exactly. Oh,
Frank,
what's up?
Regional. What region are we in? What colleges are eligible
So
Well, it's open to. Well, hold on. We'll get to that in a minute. So starting in April, we start off in Virginia at Smith Mountain Lake. May we go to Cayuga Lake, and then what's in July? Susquehanna River or the Susky.
late June or early July, first week of July, we're shooting for the Susky, like Hobie boundaries.
Yep.
Nice.
And
All right. So real quick, if y'all are interested in being able to fish the Hobie, Alex doesn't number our damn podcast no more, so I can't tell you the number, but go search Jake Horseman. And the most recent video from Jake, he will talk about the Susky. And that's one of my most listened to episodes because we did it before the Hobie last year.
Yeah,
and
I bet.
and Jake
And guess
Horseman
what?
is a
We're gonna do it
Susky
again this year.
caller.
No, we're gonna do it again this year.
Bass is coming to Susky again. So
yeah, Bass is coming, but Hobie's going to Cayuga.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's right. So those are our.
I want to
our
apologize
4.
for interrupting because I meant to. So go ahead.
Yeah,
Chief.
go ahead. Yeah, thanks, man. This guy. So yeah, those are our 4 events, right? And you could be any college kayak angler. If you really want to travel, right, from the Midwest or further out, you're more than welcome to. You just got to provide a college ID, right, which will have all that information on the website. It's not a team thing. You come solo, right? Bring what you got. Come slay and have a shot at winning some money, some prizes, maybe some recognition, right? However we can help, right? Spread the word about these college kayak anglers. And I mean, it's pretty much, I mean, that's the gist of it in a nutshell is we're just trying to hit the college kayak series. And Jake's got a roster of colleges to hit up and try to connect
47 colleges. I looked up all the
47.
colleges, all that competed in FLW and Bass College that have teams in the past like 3 years. But you know, like Frankie said, you can be going to a trade school, any type of college, any type in the area. You're listening and your grandparent, uncle, you know someone that's a kid in college that likes to fish out of a kayak. There's going to be a base age range, 18 to 24 for a college kid, normal size kayak, 10 to 14 foot. Because you're going to be on bigger water. I don't want to put anyone on something tiny, but one motor is going to be allowed. I know Hobie has a college series. I've talked to them because I don't want to infringe on them. They're a little more central in the country, but the Northeast, especially the Northeast college guys, know FLW took away their boat tournaments this year, their series. So there's only one event. So if you guys want to fish and you're in the Northeast in college, if you have a team or not, you guys can come out and compete. It's going to be big money. I mean, I got the coach of Ewing Minor who just won the Hobie. He's supposed to be possibly showing up to the first event. So he's going to be coming with vengeance.
Big money. What's big money? What kind of money are we looking at in these tournaments?
$100,000 for first place I'm just kidding, suckers.
Holy shit. I was about to say, look, y'all, I still got my college ID. That's something about to come out.
That's why there's an age range.
I was about to
shave off some of that sour bread.
Hold on. Yeah, you said the age range. I am disappointed. I'm about ready to go back to college and whoop up on some 22-year-olds being
about to pull
38.
pull a Van Wilder.
So entry fees are going to be around like 115, 15 going to tourney X fees, stuff like that. 100's going to go to the pot. 10 of it's going to be big bass. 90's going to the rest. We're going to pay out top 10%. So we haven't calculated up exactly how much, but I'm hoping for a minimum of 50, but I'd love over 100 kids. And I'm thinking first place is definitely going to be a couple $1,000 out of a plastic boat. So
all right. So do y'all have a website? You said Tourney X, so you can register through Tourney X. Is there a website where they can go get more information? Like, let's get into this early in the podcast. Is where can we find all the information we need to find to be able to register and prepare for travel and all that stuff?
Yeah, so they'll go to our Slay Nation website, slaynationtournamentfishing.com. Under the tabs, scroll down to College Kayak Series. We have some basic information there. We do have boundaries listed for each place already, which I will upload and put that up there. So, these college anglers have a little heads up of, the boundaries when they're trying to look for places to fish. The registration, so it's a membership. You got to be a Slay Nation member as well, which the membership is discounted to $30 for the college anglers, and that doesn't include the jerseys, so they won't get the sleigh jersey included in that. The sleigh jersey is pretty much $30 as it is. They'll get the discount codes. That helps cover the insurance, prize packs, things of that nature at these events. And we're going to probably make, identifier cards, right?
Yeah,
for
we're
each
thinking about
event.
doing board stickers, kind of like Hobie does. I'm going to be like having a check-in the night before. Not all the stuff on the website is totally finalized yet. Like the dates, the dates are up there. They should be up there.
Yeah, dates are up there.
So some changes might happen, but we're pretty much finalizing. Like I said, I just got contacts for like 48 colleges. I'm going to start reaching out here in the next week or two to let these kids know. But those are just colleges that had a team that have competed. If you're literally just a community college kid around Smith Mountain Lake and you want to jump into one, you could jump into one. Like Frankie said, if you want to qualify for the one-day championship on Champlain, then North End too. So we're going to be chasing a lot of smallies. But then you're going to have to try to fish more. But if you just want to cherry pick one, you're more than welcome to. If you're just local to the lake and you want to try to win some money out of the kayak, you can also do that as well.
Listen, also, hold on, Paul. So if anybody needs a paper college, there is a Swamp Rat Fishing University, and you guys can use us. They have age requirements. I will completely lie for that.
So it's like
you can be
when he hands the little paper and bench warmers with the crayon and the $20.
Honestly, listen, this is specifically for you, KVD. I know you just retired.
Oh,
if you want to become a freshman at Swamp Rat Fishing University and fish in this tour, I got you, bro. Like I'm giving this directly to you, KVD, right into the camera.
He's gonna watch this. I
want you on this tour. I'm not gonna sponsor you, but I will sponsor you as a university.
Bass and Brews will sponsor you. We'll give you 50% of what we owe to make this podcast happen.
Yes. I will guarantee you that. Kevin Van Dam, you can pay $10 a month to sponsor this podcast. Funny. So you can get in. But
hey, do y'all have any headline sponsors or anything like that are sponsoring this yet? Or is it strictly Slay Nation that's putting it on through what you've already built? Frankie,
a lot of the sponsors are kind of built with what Frankie has at Slay Nation, but I know like Z Pro Lithium is a huge title sponsor of Slay Nation as a whole. They're also helping out with the college series. We're going to be giving away batteries like at every event plus the championship. So there's some sponsors that are already with Slay Nation that are stepping up to even help us more. Omnia Fishing, I talked with them over there. They're going to be hooking us up with some stuff for giveaways. So even if you don't cash a check, we want everyone to come to the weigh-in, the ceremony, and we're going to be giving away quite a few prize packs that are loaded up with plenty of gear to get these kids set up with tackle and whatever else, gift cards and whatever else we can get them.
Hell yeah! If y'all don't know about Z Pro Lithium, this guy is Michael. He worked under and learned from the guy that made lithium batteries, like Z Pro lithium batteries. You might hear a little bit of shit talking in the kayak world about them, but this guy's legit. The batteries are legit, and I'm ready to get my hands on one or
Michael, that's actually Michael's second company. His first company is making custom batteries for warehouses and stuff.
Yeah, so airports, like metal detectors. Like he's like, so that's like one thing about it is I know there's everybody Dakota Lithium and Amped Outdoors and whatever. There's a bunch of great companies out there, but I'll tell you the one reason why we ended up partnering with Z Pro, we've been talking to them for like 2 years. There you go. Look at that.
Battery is so light, we barely noticed you didn't have pants on, Jake.
Exactly.
That's my pants on. We're good.
But Michael knows his shit. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like
he's not a fisherman though either. Like
no, he's not. Game. But that's like the best part. That's the best part. Is like this is all new to him. So he's the battery guru. Like I had a director. He in New Hampshire, Ryan. He wanted to get He wanted the 24 or 36 volt. Battery, but he wasn't sure what to get, what was good for his new trolling motor. So he's like, Frank, who can I talk to? I'm like, I'll get you on with Michael. So Michael, Facebook message. I said, Michael, here's Ryan. And he took care of everything. And Ryan's like, all right, place my order tonight. Boom. But like, Michael's like really intuitive. This is what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like this is
Yeah.
this is what he does, and so that's why we have confidence working with them and when their product, and it's just, you know, we're really excited. So they obviously they'll be helping out big time, you know, and all of our other Slay Nation partners and sponsors. But I reached out to Old Town back in August. I really wanted to. My goal was to reach out to Old Town and see if they would want to hop on this college kayak series with us.
You
right?
want to have the best kayak company out there on this.
Yeah, and I reached out, and then it was a game of cat and mouse for like 4 months. Whatever, it is what it is. And then nothing kind of came out of it. And then I saw their little application post like, "Hey, we're looking for grassroots clubs to deal with." So, you know, I got it sent to me, and I was like, "All right, I'll fill it out." But it was hard to fill out the application for an organization, right? It was more for like just a club.
Yeah, for like one trail. Like
So I filled it out the best I
Yeah.
could. And that was due. Everybody had to have it in by the 16th of February, which was last week. So hopefully, you know,
I'm
whatever.
actually personally on the Old Town Pro staff, so I got picked up by them this year. So I was like, "Hey, Slay Nation College Series, you know."
Yeah.
Hey, before we go any
We'll
further,
see what
and
happens.
I've got a really hard-hitting question. But before we do that, because I know Paul's in a bad mood, I want to, if you guys aren't watching on YouTube right now, I want you guys to envision this. So I'm in the top left, right? And I've got a pretty clean, I mean, it's gray, but it's a clean, tight beard, right? And then below me, I have Frankie, who has another clean, kind of tight beard.
Grace.
Right. Yep, Grace. And then to the right, Jabberhammer looks homeless with his beard.
The homeless Jesus.
Yep. And then Jake looks like homeless Jesus's apostle.
He
Like
kind of looks
Jesus
like
Jr.
Take that as a compliment.
Joseph.
I mean, his
as I'm sitting here,
reddish. He has a lava beard.
I think it's
yeah. Well,
it's the
he's the
lighting.
Irish Jesus.
He's Pennsylvania. He's got the
Lighting.
Amish. He's got that Amish beard,
I'm a
you know,
PA
like
boy.
spotty and shit.
I mean, I didn't mean to
Oh.
derail
There's
everything, but as
some
I'm
booty out
looking, I'm like, man, I feel like I was looking at Frankie and I was like, that's a good beard. Like I can work to that. And I'm like, oh, look at these ass hats on the other side that aren't putting it together.
Well,
that's because
it sounds like a fat joke because me and Jacob are the two larger ones in this, and nobody likes a fat joke, Alex. You short.
That's messed up.
Okay, hold on.
It's all.
One, it wasn't a fat joke, but nobody likes you being fat either. So just fix it.
Jesus.
I've said this before. Alex,
Frankie's like, damn, we were on
about
such a good line.
About 6 months from now, Alex is not only is he going to be on a booster seat to be above his mic, but he's going to be so far away from his mic, he's going to have to get a boom to get it to him because, you know, 6 months from now, that military life is gone, buddy. You're going to get fat.
Oh, military life is gone. But an update for everybody, Alex is about ready in a week or two to join the corporate world because my ass got a job and I am ecstatic. I won't say who it is because I'm not trying to ruin real possibilities here, but I got a fucking job and they are a big corporation that deals with the military and I am fucking ecstatic. I cannot wait. Yeah, I can't wait. I've already, my wife said something. What did she say? So the job I got, though, total side note,
she
is
said about time, bitch.
Yes. But she was also like, you're still making dinner every night. I was like, no, motherfucker. But I went from a semi-blue collar job to a full white collar job.
Nice. Look at you, dog.
It's great. So I tried to shit on my wife because she's a postal worker, right? And I was like, listen, you trash, you blue collar. And she was like, listen here, you little pencil dick. And I was like, golly.
Why won't you say the name? I feel like you're worried your fans are just going to email the podcast to your boss.
No, I'm not going to say the name. It's called being smart, Jake.
Yeah.
Look, they're going to do a background check and find this podcast.
You have to change your name.
Listen, there's been a bunch of people who have like given me advice through this whole process, and everything goes through like, don't ever mention the podcast, ever. Don't ever mention the podcast. But I'm super stoked. Man. I can't wait to be part of this corporate team. This is literally the number one person I wanted to work for after I got out of the military.
This isn't your podcast. It is the Head Cheeses and Jacob Stems podcast. So
all right,
you should have done this shit at the beginning Not in the middle of when our
Jesus.
guests are supposed to be promoting what they're doing. Wow. I didn't think I'd ever have to tell you this 2 years in.
This
This is
isn't
exactly what I planned.
this
Yeah,
isn't
I
Bass
didn't
Talk
expect
Live.
anything else.
Hold on, this isn't Bass Talk Live or any other like
BTL, baby.
super. I love BTL, but
Yeah.
you know they got their sponsored spots. This ain't that. This is my show because I pay for it and I sponsor it, so I can do whatever the fuck I want.
That is true. Alex pays 100% of this podcast, and I siphon off of it by by using our subscriptions for free.
For
Thanks,
his
Bass.
other podcast that he plugged in the very beginning of this
I
podcast.
plug it all the time. I plug it all
That's
the
good.
time on both.
That's
All right,
episodes.
so
Back to Slay Nation and college fishing.
Hold on.
In
So
the kayak.
Frankie,
Oh Lord,
you're killing me.
That blah, blah, blah,
You wanted me to
blah,
fucking
blah,
do
blah,
it.
blah,
Let
blah,
me
blah,
be the
Two
blah,
fucking
blah, blah, blah.
Paul. You're the color guy. I'm the fucking straight man. Would you get the roles correct? You're killing me today.
Jesus. It's only Wednesday, too.
I know, right? All right. So, Frankie, what made you want to kind of pursue this avenue to kind of like push this new trail?
Yeah. So it's just, each year, at the end of each year, we kind of, look for like, all right, what's another niche angler or market we could try to offer something to. So, after year one in 2019, we added the Lady Slayers, right? We had the Lady Slayer, like, because thinking about it, there was not like a whole ton of stuff for like just women anglers to get introduced to catch, photo, release format. And so we had added that. Then it was like, all right, how do we get youth into it? So we added our next generation. So kind of like the evolution of, of that. And the next, like honestly, for anybody that follows like the kayak industry specifically, like I don't feel like there's a saturated market yet for the college kayak anglers. Like it's kind of like an untapped resource. Like we know Hobie had tried a college or does a college kayak series
opening last year.
They did a soft opening, but no one really knew about it. They didn't market it much. No. And I don't know if KBF has a college kayak series.
It was like month-long nationwide. It wasn't a series.
It wasn't okay.
No.
So
it wasn't a series. It was
So what I'm getting to is, well, what the hell? Well, somebody's got to tap into this a little. And so that's when I talked to Jake. I was like, dude, because he's closer, he's closer to just out of college. I mean, when did you graduate college, Jake? 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah.
All right, yeah, dude. Like I graduated college 20 years ago.
Oh, man, Jake, hold on,
look
time
like
out.
you're a
Jake, we need a
Southern guy down here in South Carolina. Wow, you do not age well.
I'm about to say, Jake, we're gonna have to add you on with Jackson. We're gonna need a parental release before we do this episode.
Okay, sounds good.
So it was like, all right, excuse me. It was like, what's next? So,
yo, drink some water, Frankie.
Dude,
okay.
I'm like,
drink some water.
I'm getting over something. I don't know what I got up
It's
here.
because of that dirty basement that you're in. That's what the problem is.
It might be.
Frankie, you can't get
I
over
got some
old
stories
age,
about
buddy.
this access pipe, by the way. There's like,
put
it this way, there's half of a Shakespeare ugly stick sitting in there, and I'll talk about that later.
Is that why there's like 3 or was there like there's 4 unions on that? You've tried to cut it out and get that Shakespeare out of there?
No, this one. No, this is what is that? I don't know what the hell that is. That's some pipe that
it looks like a clean out at the end of it.
That looks like something
Wild Bill behind the wall over here.
That looks like something Wild Bill Fishing would do from Hookset Hoodlums.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So we'll talk about that later. That was not a fun night. So I just left the rod in there, dude.
That's what she said.
That's true. That's true. Whatchamacallit. So yeah. So anyway, we wanted to tap into the college kayak world because we just don't feel like. Also, I don't like. It's like the college anglers. It's like where do they congregate? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we all have these podcasts we listen to. We have these series, but it's like, where are the college kids? Like, where do they compete? Where do they go? What do they do? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like there's a void. You know, we all follow Kayak Bass Nation. We watch the lives with Jeff and Ryan, and we listen to Armando, and we listen to, you know, we follow Hobie BOS and KBF. But it's like, where the hell are these college kids?
Hold on, wait, Frankie. Did you just promote every other podcast in this?
Oh my goodness!
God
No,
damn, Frankie.
talking about you know, where people are going.
You got to
right?
promote Paul's too. Don't forget,
All
Paul.
right,
Hit
that's right. We'll hit them all
You
up
gotta
later.
promote Paul's podcast. The hell with Alex.
These guys.
Hey, on Frankie with the college stuff, getting you know, we have the colleges have had big boat tournaments for a while now.
Yes.
So what you're talking about is that kayak, and we're not even talking about small boats, right? We're talking about kayak centric in the college world.
Exactly.
And with the same thing with why folks get into kayak fishing is low point of entry, you know, just kayaks. And so these colleges can put together a team of 4, 5, 6 guys and get some decent kayaks.
The ROI is huge.
Huh?
The return on investment. Like
yeah.
I started when I was attending Kutztown University. I started our bass team years ago, and now I'm friends with the kid that actually just took over presidency, Kyle, and I'm actually helping him out as a coach this season. But no, I fished it. We had one guy with a boat up north. They didn't know about it. This was like 2016. They had no idea. They looked like I had 3 heads when I said, "Hey, yeah, guys, kids get full rides for college fishing." They're like, "What are you talking about?" So up north, it's kind of still newer yet, but you know, to travel to a tournament and then you got gas in the boat and you got a trail you got to tow and everything else, the ROI, entry fees were free when I fished FLW. It was just pay the membership, but you're putting way more money into it, where here it's a small entry fee or a small membership and then the entry fee. And then, you know, you can throw 4 kayaks in the back of a truck or with a trailer and haul 4 kids down and cut the cost in half. And the biggest thing is you don't have to have a college team. Some colleges, they have teams, they get support from the school, which is awesome. But if you have a kid that goes to a community college, can't afford to go to a big school, loves to fish, wants to tournament fish and compete against kids his age, he doesn't have that. And I'd love to do it nationwide, but, you know, especially when I saw there was no Northeast really big boat division this year, except they're doing one because the kids complain. They're like, yo, us Northeast people don't want to drive 16 hours to go fish a boat tournament, especially when we're in school. So I was like, you know what, Frankie, let's do it. Let's do college kayak series and let's get it going and get these kids fishing for some big money. I mean, out of a kayak.
Well, yeah, it's just about opportunity.
You talked about, is it all individual based or is there an individual base plus a team base?
So no,
what does that look?
Hobie did individual plus team, and it was primarily for the team. And of course, Hobie doesn't allow motors. We're doing the opposite, and we're doing everyone's individual. Everyone's going to earn points towards AOI, just like your local league you're in. And then we're allowing 1 motor per kayak for the event. So we're kind of doing complete opposite. That way they have their own thing. We're not conflicting with them. I talked to them originally about their schedule. They didn't have anything set yet because, you know, they kind of did a soft opening. There wasn't too many people that fished it last year, but I did reach out to not conflict with them. But again, they're more centralized in the country where Northeast kids, again, have to travel 16 hours to fish a boat tournament. Well, how about you guys all get some team kayaks? It's way cheaper than a bass boat and start traveling and start fishing these big fisheries that you can still handle with a 12-foot kayak, a pedal drive, or even just a paddle. I mean, these kids can come out in their 10-foot paddle kayak and try to win all this money.
No, I think that's huge, man. Like exactly what you're saying. There's not like in the Northeast, there's not the big collegiate fishing as there is in the South, right? Like they've got established, there's big money involved in those fishing teams. This lets kids be able to make a club and then go out and do it. I think that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, there's no college kayak hub yet, really. Like when you just sit and think about it, you think it's either like right. For me personally, and I think I'm pretty in tune with the kayak industry. Like I follow a lot of it just because I need to. I just need to know what's going on out there in the world. But it's like, you know, and I sat there and I was like, damn, like, yo, what are these college, like what's their hub? Like, is there a college? And I don't know, maybe I still have to investigate. Is there a college kayak podcast that's out there that we don't know about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's not.
I don't think there is.
No.
But think about it. I don't know where these college kayak anglers, if they're, maybe there's just not as much as we think there are, but it's like, where do they go? Like,
No,
what
I
is
mean, there's a
their
ton
thing?
of them. There's a ton of them, right? And they're going to generate towards social media, and they're going to do all that stuff, right? Like YouTube, strapping shit to their kayak and doing that. But getting them on a route of maybe doing the tournament side, there's not a clear path. And as much as maybe I've raged about the quote unquote pro scene when it comes to bass fishing, there is like a clear defined multi-level scheme to get up to it, right? But there hasn't been one yet for kayak fishing.
All the college kids like Ewing just fish the Hobies and win those. So I mean, he's doing all right. But you know, that way there's at least a focused series for kids that age to, you know, I mean, when I fished college, I loved it. You know, there was only 80 boats, which sounds like a lot, but for college boat tournaments, like down south, it's like 250 a tournament.
Yeah.
So there was like 80 in Smith Mountain Lake when I went there years ago. But you know, just hanging out with your college buddies, going out fishing, catching big fish, like traveling, like, and it's way cheaper to do with kayaks now.
I mean, it makes it so accessible, right? It makes it accessible to people who can't afford to be on boats, or schools that can't afford to buy the boats, right? But it's still, it makes it acceptable, which makes, I mean, that's like the clear thing with kayak fishing, right? The accessibility, the thing that like anybody, you can spend what you want, right? But for the most part, you can get off the bank, get on the water, and compete. And a lot of people love that, or just get off the bank, right? Like kayaks are great about accessing water.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's good for sponsors too, because it's a whole different demographic. And like, you know, think of the college kids, like they're better with technology than, you know, a lot of us. And they do a great job of promoting things that they like, you know what I mean? So it's like an extra, it's another great new demographic for some sponsors to get involved with and say, oh, damn. Oh, you got a college. Like, wait, I haven't heard of many college kayak series. You guys are doing one? Oh, let's hear more about it. You know,
the best part is just the fisheries we're going to be on. Like, we're not taking you to some Joe Schmo fishery that you're not going to catch biggins. We're taking you to the world-renowned fisheries. We got Cayuga, Susquehanna, Champlain.
Jake, time out, buddy. Time out.
Take
us through the schedule. Take us.
He was saying this. He was saying it, dickhead.
This is but I want him to the dates. I want to hear the. I was going to ask this, but y'all assholes kept talking. I couldn't interrupt, but now I am.
It's a podcast.
You are the jabberhammer. We forgot.
Sorry.
Bow down to me, peasants.
Wait, hold on. Didn't he just tell me to shut up so the guests could talk?
But I have an important question.
True.
Jake, go through the schedule. Dates, lakes, all that jazz.
The schedule, like we said, it's going to be 4 events. You have 3 one-day events that are regular season events, and the championship is also a 1 day.
Hold on, Jake, before you hold on. Jabber he asked this question, and it is a great question, but then he leaves. He tries to act like he's superior because he knows most people don't watch the video podcast, right?
Yeah.
So this is on the audio. Jabber made this big fucking deal, and then he left. I'm disappointed in him. Jake, I'm here for you, buddy.
Ghosted.
All right. So like
you have the dates, Jake, or you want me to say the dates?
I got them. Right. Just correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're accurate. So all of our events are going to be Saturday tournaments. That way for traveling, you know, you have Sunday to get home. You know, Virginia for me, 6 hours. I'm kind of centralized with all these tournaments, but we're looking at April 15th is going to be the first tournament on Smith Mountain Lake. Now, yes, I did find out there's a BFL, Toyota BFL, the same date on Smith Mountain Lake. So there will be 150 boats on there. But hey, if you got kids in the team that you're coming down that don't have a kayak, they could jump in as a co-angler, like my college might be doing, and get yourself a tournament anyway. The lake's plenty big. It's not going to be an issue. But every tournament, the night before, we're going to have a location I'm going to end up picking out for a meeting, registration. If you've ever fished a Hobie, kind of that deal. That way we can get everyone checked in, everyone, you know, safety, have a safety talk, all that stuff. So April 15th, Smith Mountain Lake. Then end of May, and I double checked, this should be when all the schools are out. No, you know, don't want to worry about finals with you kids. Once you get all that stress past,
May 27th,
we are going to be on Cayuga Lake, which that time of year is insanity. If you guys know Cayuga, It is an amazing fishery, and come late May, early June, there are biggins everywhere. So that's going to be our second event. And then rounding it out, our third event, which could have some possible issues just because it is a river, weather. We're going to end up having a backup lake nearby, worst case scenario. But we are shooting for July 8th on the Susquehanna River here in PA. And we are doing the exact same boundaries as the Hobie. So if you guys fished a Hobie event, you know the boundaries. It's a lot of river. It's like 80 miles or something crazy. I fished it last year. Plenty of room for everyone to fish. So that's going to be our third event.
And what was that again?
Susquehanna River.
No. The date again? Sorry.
July 8th.
All right. So
Saturday,
you guys
July.
can expect the end of June to hear a full report on how to fish Susky. I'm Jake Hartman. I'm not joking. We will have that stuff.
Harshman. Jake Harshman. Not Hartman.
Alrighty. So then
I didn't say
it out.
it. Said Harshman.
Oh, I thought you said Hartman. Go ahead, Jake.
The word.
Don't listen to Alex. He's an asshole.
Go ahead, Jake.
Anyway, and then to round it out, our championship is going to be August 26th.
August 26th?
Yeah, is that what I have?
All right,
What'd you
I'll
have?
have to fix that. I have August 12th on the website.
Let me
Text me
double check.
that and I'll change.
I'm sorry. No, you're right. You're right. 12th. I have the wrong
Okay.
date. Sorry.
Okay.
August 12th is going to be Champlain, and I
Ooh.
believe we're going to be doing the northern end. Is that correct? Do you
Yeah.
have that? No. Northern end? All right. So that'll be chasing mainly smallmouth, up north. We'll have a set location for ceremonies for every event. We'll come up with that, probably like state parks or something like that. Have a nice weigh-in ceremony and be all legit. But that's what we're looking at right now. And like Frankie said, if you want to make the championship, I know we talked 3 events, but we might go down to 2 just because I know the first one is during college. So we might do 2 out of 3. If you fish 2 out of 3, you'll make the championship. That way, you kids are in college and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
But AOI, we're going to do a point system for AOI, and we're going to try to get some, nice big giveaways for the winner of AOI. Maybe a big Z Pro battery or some rods or, who knows. And then, it's only up from here for this year and next year. Who knows? Maybe change up the fisheries. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how far central I can go, but if kids really like it, I'd like to expand it out to more of the country.
Yeah,
So
we'll
this
figure it
is
out.
one of the questions I had leading into this. So with bass, for instance, those kids that are fishing the Bass College Series, they're fishing it for the opportunity to go fish the Classic. And
Yep.
this is the first year y'all have done it. I know you've talked to Hobie. Is there anything in the future maybe planned? What is, besides just fishing for the money, right? Is there anything in the future about them maybe being able to get into the Hobie BOS Championship or the Bass Championship, the kayak scene? Is there a potential for them to fish to get into kind of the Bassmaster Classic of the kayak fishing world, whatever that might be?
Yeah, there's, eventually we either want to do our own championship, right? Which is most ideal, right? We want to do that with our John Boat stuff. Like, have you ever heard of a John Boat National Championship? Not yet.
Nope.
But that's what we wanted. That's what we're working towards. I know people are like, hey, let's do one this year, but we're just still building our value, right? But eventually, I would love to partner with like Hobie BOS and say, hey, if we can get this college kayak series going, could we make it that the winner, our champion, gets a bid into the following year's Hobie BOS TOC or something like that, right? As a goal for these kids to obtain, that's bigger and more prestigious, right? That'd be really cool. Same thing with Bassmaster, the college.
And even if they, even if we cover the Northeast and then Hobie covers Central, and we do like single person AOI points registers for their championship event, because they do the team thing. But if we just do a separate like single person AOI, so that way it matches up with ours, and take the top 10 of each, send them to a champion somewhere, even if we work alongside. That's why I wanted to talk to Hobie. I don't want to infringe on them. I want to grow the college series just like FLW Bass has it. Like we want to work together.
It's very similar to the big boat world, right? If you're a Bass Nation state champion, you get a bid to the Bassmaster Classic, right? Or if you win
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, there's no difference. You're giving this everyday blue collar angler an opportunity to go to the classic, through this route. And so this would be something similar to that. Like, how do you get these college? Like, imagine if you have a college kid that qualified through whatever college kayak series it is to compete in a Hobie BOS TOC. Maybe they leave 3 spots open. How freaking cool is that, right? Because now what does that do? That will start to, have a domino effect. Now you might get more college kayak series popping up throughout the country for these kids to have an opportunity to qualify for this large scale tournament. And really what that does is now the Hobie BOS is right now that is the tournament you want to be fishing in the kayak world. Like now it like makes that even more prestigious because now you have a funnel system with these kayak kids, right? And now you start talking big stuff, how Bassmaster got to where it is, right? With Bass Nation and the state stuff and like building towards this ultimate goal of getting on stage. That's like half the thing. These guys just want to be on that stage. They want to walk across. Some of them don't even care if they win it or catch a fish, just to have their music playing and pulling through the stadium. Like, that's a dream to be on that stage.
For regional. So let's say a kid, he can't afford to drive to 3 or 4 or 5 Hobies to make it to their AOI.
Yeah.
Well, now
but that's a good idea too, is like if Hobie gets the college kayak series going, now you're like, hey, if you take your top 10 at the end of the year, Slay Nation takes their top 10 college kayak anglers. Now you have a national championship of those 20 anglers go, but you could build on that each year. So
but Frankie, honestly, how realistic is that? How realistic is that Hobie's gonna align with you guys?
It's I'll never say never. I'll never say never.
I think that's a great idea, right? But you're talking about combining 2 trails, right? Because that's what you're saying. You're opening up a second trail, combining 2 trails. They won't even do it with Bassmaster at this point, right? Because those are 2 separate entities, 2 separate skill sets, basically. Go ahead, Paul.
But here's the way that I look at it, though, is Hobie, as Jake has said, they're centralized. They're kind of the mid-south area, Tennessee, right? Let's just take Tennessee. That's kind of the hub of it. They're not going to do regional. So if you have southeast and northeast, then that mid-south, midwest, if you have a few regions that can kind of tie in together for the college series, this has nothing to do with outside of college. For the college series, then you can potentially put it together. Now, that is a lot of moving parts and a lot of work to do for a bunch of people, but potentially there is potential for that to happen. Now,
and
I want to.
My bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jake. Go ahead.
The thing is too, as I said last year, they did a soft opening. No offense to Hobie, they didn't promote it because they didn't know how it was. But I got reports the average was 15 college anglers because they did soft opening. If I come out with Smith Mountain Lake and throw up 50, 60, 70 college kids, Hobie's gonna be like, oh, we don't even gotta travel there anymore. Let's just take their top 10 AOI. We'll throw it to our top 10 AOI and throw them in a championship, and we don't gotta travel.
No, I mean, I know Paul has a great comment, but he was drinking, so I'm going to interject. I think there's a spot for you guys, right? So if people don't know, I'll be fully honest, I'm a huge professional wrestling fan, right? And there's different regions for that, right? And you could be in one region and still be successful while another region is the other one, right? So I think there is a spot for a Slay Nation. I mean, long term for you guys, obviously you want to be nationwide, right? But to corner a territory, which would be the Northeast, and if we're talking about wrestling terms,
they want the top of the line tournament, so they're gonna want top of the line.
No, I get it, man. Yeah. No, I love it.
All right, I'm gonna this whole conversation we had with the kayak college fishing league that y'all are starting. I'm going to take this into a kayak fishing generalization right now. Frankie, you have done a wonderful job of Slay Nation growing the small boat and kayak side nationwide. Jacob, you are in the kayak fishing world. A year ago, we were talking about how kayak fishing was about to take off. We were in a rocket about to go to Mars. A year later, now we've got lower numbers in national trails. We've got one of the, I hate to call it premier, but we had one of the top kayak fishing leagues in KFL that kind of folded. They've got something else that's out now.
Yeah.
It seems like, it feels like, as fast as we went up this time last year, the kayak scene from a national trail and from a competition standpoint. I know, Frankie, some of the local trails in some of the states of Slay Nation aren't coming back this year. It seems like we're coming down off of that peak pretty damn fast. And for you two, because y'all are in it with Slay Nation and what you do in fishing in general, Jacob, especially you, where do y'all see kayak fishing right now? Again, because this time last year, that shit was at the pinnacle and we only saw more growth. And
This is a
now
great
we're seeing lower
question.
numbers and
Yeah.
shit going down.
This is a
Where
great
are we
question,
going in the
but
kayak? Where are we going in the kayak world?
Paul, stop. This is a great question, but what kills me is, as a guy who has to do all the work for the podcast, like, how do we go from a great title to this one? But yeah, you're killing
You know
me,
what?
Paul. I
That's
hate you.
post production. We'll deal with that on the other end. But we've got two guys,
There's
especially
no
Frankie,
we.
who
Hold
has
on.
grown.
There's no we. It's just
Frankie's
me.
grown a no. Shh. Frankie's grown a national kayak trail.
Yeah, I know.
Small
I
boat
do want to
trail.
hear the answer to this one.
Yeah.
Because
So
these guys are. I want to hear their. I want to hear. I haven't asked this to anybody else. I want to hear to where we're going with the kayak world, because right now I think we're on. Where the nose of the plane is pointed straight towards the fucking ground, where a year ago that bitch was pointed to Mars. I want to know where we're going. Y'all tell me. Y'all in.
I'll go first, Frank.
Yeah, go ahead.
First off, the whole KFL thing, that was more or less one or two individuals. So I wouldn't say that was, that was a whole nother entity. Unfortunately, I was super excited to fish that, but we'll pass that on. About that, whatever. But
shit
the
management. But okay, go ahead.
the national level, kayaks, you got to think, shit's more expensive now. So these guys, can't travel super far, these Hobies. And I understand that, but also we're also with the college years are doing a region. So, the guys that want to fish the Hobies, the KBFs, the Bass, like they're traveling 15 hours to an event. So now they're not fishing as many because that's a lot more into it, where it's like, this doesn't have numbers to base off of because it's brand new, but we're also smaller focused region. Like I'm in the middle and I have 6 hours south to Smith Mountain. I have an hour and a half to Susky, and I have 6 hours to the north end of Champlain, almost in Canada. So at least for especially the people in PA, it's super centralized compared to, oh, I'm going to go fish 5 or 6 Hobies, where it's like, that's going to cost you a crazy amount of money now.
You got to go to Florida and then Louisiana, the first two turns. Frankie, I really want your input into this.
Now, Frankie's texting right now. He's texting Paul. He's like, hey, dickhead, how dare you?
I had a question when a member was like, hey, how do I sign up for this tournament? I'm like, dude, your season hasn't even started yet. He's not even,
you should have told him, just head to the Bass
club.
and Brews fishing podcast.
I should. Not bad.
But he won't, because Frankie will promote every other podcast.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. I was just giving right examples. All right. Anyway, so I think, right, last year, right, right, there's always going to be hills and valleys, right? There's always going to be hills and valleys, no matter what it is. Fishing is, right, obviously it's our small little world. It's really small. Yep. And like, I do agree. It was like, right, everything is going above and beyond. Now you're starting to see like saturation come in. There's tons more local clubs. They got USA Kayak Bassin now that's reaching other states. And we'll see, I'm excited to see how they grow. It's very similar to what we do. I'm in on their Facebook group. And I think like I just think right now, it's getting to a point where like I feel like I don't think people can keep traveling like that. Nobody can keep taking days off of work. That's so hard. That's why local clubs, grassroots stuff is always going to be king overall, right? And then luxury status is to be able to fish these national events, right? And that's why you don't see many PKAs, because who the hell has the time to do that? Like what company is paying? Like that's a whole nother rabbit hole. I'm not going to go down there, but
There's
I
only a
do
handful.
think, yeah, right. But I do think that there is opportunity right now for leagues or clubs or whatever you want to call it to come up and boom. But I think like we're starting to see like the kayak world is like as exciting as it is for most of us. I feel like it's starting to get stagnant. Right I don't see any
Yes.
personally, like, and I can talk for ourselves, like the same. Nice. It's like the same kind of
Oh, the
stuff
fucking
that's
soundboard's the
going on.
worst.
There's nothing too different. There's no, I don't know, almost like excitement, right? What are the excitements at these weigh-ins? Like you watch them, we watch them live. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. I mean, not, I personally, and I'm not, I just, and this is obviously I'm biased, but like I feel like I do a better weigh-in at my local Slay Nation club in Connecticut when I'm on the microphone and the music than I see these big events doing. I'm like, yo, I want to jack you up. Like I want people coming to the tournament like, ready, like, yo, I want someone to say, let's fucking go when they got the check up here. Like,
No, like Slay Nation, from what
you
I've
gotta
seen,
mix it up, man. You gotta
Slay
mix it up.
Nation like you guys pull something different, and that's that excitement. Exactly. You're bringing excitement
Yeah.
on a
Well,
club level to a big level, right? Like the excitement elevates that to something so much more.
Well, that's what we try to. Our brand is how do we take, right, a North Carolina everyday angler who we call a slayer, right? So we're trying to
That's
differentiate
not
this
Paul
person.
because
It's
he's
not
not really
Paul.
good at it.
It's funny, but how do we, how do we make them feel famous, right?
Yeah.
That's why we had the
Yeah.
Monster Bass Club the last 3 years. Now this year it's the Heat Your Meat Hot Seat, right?
Yeah.
Those little things. What we try to do is like, all right, like honestly, I'll sit there, I'll look at all these big national clubs, right? Because they're the most out there, and you're like, dude, they don't even highlight their directors. They don't even highlight their members. Like they only highlight the big wigs on these one tournaments here and there. But what about every day? What about their monthly peeps? What about their whatever? Like that's what we try to do. And so if we're posting somebody in North Carolina, Heat Your Meat Hot Seat, a Slayer in Georgia, a Slayer in California is like,
Heck yeah.
yo, Paulie, great job, man. I can't tell you how many people we have had connect, like the Lady Slayers, who you all know, Tiffany
Yep.
and Coley. They all
Tiff
met
and
through Lady
Coley.
Slayers.
Yeah.
They all met through Lady Slayers.
Yep.
And that's kind of what we're trying to make is this kind of other sub community that's big. It's a part of this bigger fishing community, but it's like it's kind of like, all right, this is ours. Right, this is ours. Like, when we call you a Slayer, you're part of the Slay family. We just had another Slay. We had a Slay Nation member that passed away yesterday in Georgia. Our Georgia director Vassier posted about it. He passed away, and it's like when we've had a few people pass away that were Slay Nation members in the past years due to accidents, whatever. I had a personal one. My good buddy here, Jesse Butwell, passed away this past summer, suddenly our age, 40 years old, heart attack. He's a police officer going to work. And it's like, when that happens, it's not like, you don't, even though you don't know them physically, right? If they're wearing our logo on our shirt, right? That Slay Raid made in his basement, you're not just a member. You're a
It's
Slayer.
Slay
You're part of
family,
the
dude.
family.
It's straight up
And,
Slay family. I've
and
never
that's
met
like,
Frankie in my life, and he's
yeah.
like one of my best buddies. Like,
Well, that's true too. But that's what we're trying to build, and this goes on with if you fish national events, there's people that have become friends, right? Whether through social media, whatever. But that's like our brand, and then now it's like, all right, how do we get these? Because we're not backed by big companies. People need people like, oh, when's Slay Nation having a national championship? That takes a lot of work, and it takes some funding to do that, and we don't have that.
I don't think that matters, though. Hold on. I don't think that matters. Go ahead.
It matters with growth. It matters with some growth because look at the big national trails. They're not doing that.
But that's not
You know,
what you're going for, right? Are you trying to
well, at
be
some
the next
so
Hobie BOS? Honestly, Frankie, are you trying to be the next Hobie BOS? Or are you trying to build a community of like-minded anglers? Which one?
we're trying to do eventually we want to get to have an elite status because that was what Paul was talking about. What are they building for?
Yeah, but
So
what? But it doesn't matter the building. Hold on, I don't want to interrupt you,
no, I
but
know you're
what's
playing
more
devil's
important to
advocate.
you?
But
What's more
we're
important to you? A community of like-minded anglers or a community of people looking to gain money from tournament
No,
fishing?
so don't so you don't so you might have taken my what I was explaining
Mm-hmm.
differently than how I meant it to come out,
Yeah,
right? We're still always going to keep the community of
yeah,
anglers. It's just providing a higher tier opportunity, which is still you're going to get Slay Nation members competing in this higher tier, right? So it's nobody different. It's not like you're bringing in an outside organization. It's just providing it like at the next level, right? It's providing next. It's still Slay Nation. It's still Slay Nation style.
yeah.
All it has is that title national championship, right?
so Slade,
Um,
and well, this is my thing with Slade Nation. Slade Nation is a local grassroots organization. Even though there are grassroots organizations all throughout the country, it's not it's not a national trail. It is a local grassroots trail. It's just
Yep.
under that Slade Nation name. Frankie has provided anglers in kayaks, small boats, an opportunity to create a grassroots trail that's nationwide. And
Yeah, yeah.
so, it's not a national trail. And
no,
all of this leads me into my thought of where the kayak world is going is that we have three main national trails right now. I think in the next 2 or 3 years, we go down to two, if not one. But what we see grow are the regional trails,
Yep.
and the grassroots trail is what I see growing. Matter of
Because they
fact,
don't
I
got
don't
a
even think
trail.
the grassroots trail feed into more regional trails. Now, if we get down to one major kayak national trail, let's just use Hobie because I think they're the closest to it, right?
yeah,
It goes down into like the local bass clubs where the local bass clubs fish their stuff and then they qualify for this and that. But the reason I asked this question is because it was all national. It was the PKA. It was
Mhm.
yeah,
becoming national. It's becoming a professional kayak angler and traveling and making your living off of that. And there's probably, I'd say, 10 to 20 people that can do it. And probably out of the ones that can do it, out of those 20, there's probably 10 right now, maybe, that are doing it.
yeah.
We're going to see a decline in the national trails. But what we're going to see is we're going to see a growth in regional trails. Let's just take the Carolinas, Florida,
Yep.
Georgia,
Nobody cares
New
about the
England.
Carolinas.
Nobody asked you, short munchkin.
Hold
But
on.
that's why I asked
One,
the question.
2, 3 in the Northeast. You're the only one in the Carolinas. Go F off. Nobody cares.
That means my voice counts 3 times more than y'all's. I'm in the morning.
We all showed up on
I,
time. You showed up 6 minutes late.
hey, look, I had children problems. Damn kids
Ugh.
acting the fool. I had to
You
handle my
need
business
to
now in the home.
fry your churros properly.
Churros. Ooh.
That's where I come from, though. Is a
Oh, we
year
had a
ago the
churro talk
national
one time.
trails and PKAs were it. Oh, look, don't talk to me about no fried food. We're gonna be in here going
You
live
just
on
said I had
That's true.
churro
That's true.
frying food.
problems.
That's true.
But
We talked about
in
churros
in
before.
general, Slade Nation is a grassroots club. It's not a national
Yeah.
club at all.
Yeah.
It's not Hobie. It's not Bass. It's not a national club. It's a grassroots club. There's where I see the growth end up. Well, not even the growth. I see the consolidation coming down into these little regional
Yes.
entities. Now, if those regional entities branch out into like Hobie or something where in that aspect to get into TOC and stuff, I don't know. But in general, I see the national trails consolidating to one or two in the next couple years, but the
Yeah.
regional trails consolidate into your kind of the big money stuff where you're paying $250 to fish these regional trails where you have a chance to win 10,000,
Yeah.
and it comes down. I don't. This time last year, I was seeing the national fishing scene
Crazy.
as it. Like there's going to be it's going to be Bass and MLF, and now I'm telling you, hell to fuck no. It's gonna.
But-
It's. I see it consolidating to much smaller than what it was last year. Much smaller what it is this year. The regional trails grow up, and your local trails grow up. Go ahead, Alex. Shit, you don't
I got
even,
so
you don't
much
even
to talk
tournament
about.
fish.
Yeah,
You
he's
don't
got to
even
go.
tournament fish though.
All right, as a guy that doesn't tournament fish, right? I embrace this. Actually, this slowdown. And I know folks that run these big trails. Obviously, you want to become national and this and that, right? But it all comes down to like, how are you building this foundation on? Are you building it out on? I want to make a shit ton of money, and I'm gonna fish your trail. I'm gonna fish your trail just to make money, and then bounce the hell out of it. What I see from Slay Nation, and full disclosure, I'm super jelly. I don't have a Slay Nation kayak trail where I'm at. I wish I did.
Correction, we're going to be on Merrill Creek for the PA in May, so come on up and I'll kick your ass.
So we don't have a South Jersey. That's Merrill Creek.
Nobody wants to
It's North Jersey.
look,
Yeah.
nobody
Anyways,
wants to come down to
but
South
I don't
Jersey.
have that community, right? I do have a trail down here. We have South Jersey kayak bass fishing. They've been here forever, right? And I would, but like I specifically remember like shit. I think it was like 2-3 years ago. I saw Slay Nation. I remember being like, I want to be part of that because it has a grassroots. Exactly what Paul's saying. It has a community.
It is grassroots.
It is grassroots, but it has a community feel to it. It's not just about hitting to that top level. And I know a lot of times we talk to these guys. We talk to folks that do like Hobie BOSs and all this shit, right? And they want to make money, right?
Yeah.
I personally think, being the non-tournament guy, I'd rather be on a trail where I can meet a bunch of like-minded anglers that just want to fish and bullshit afterwards. And I feel like, again, I know there's one up in PA. That's great. I don't want to go to your shitty state, but I'd much actually I love PA. It's great. I just I don't live there. No, I just wait. Like what I think you guys are doing is great. And Frankie, you talking about how you're pumping up these slayers, right? In your tournaments. That's the way to do it, right? You're building up folks on this, and it's all a team environment where you guys are all on the same thing. And what Paul was saying, where we saw the slowdown, I think the slowdown is going to be better for organizations that are building it correctly, like you guys are. You're building it community based, not just money based. Yes, Hobie BOS, fucking Bassmaster kayak, whatever the hell they call that. Yeah, they're gonna hurt a little bit, right? Because they're not building a community. It's just folks trying to gamble to make money. When you build a community around a trail, whether it be John boat, big boat, kayak, whatever it is, that is going to survive way more than the other one.
Yeah, what Paul
Jake,
said too. What Paul
Jake,
said too about how. Hold on 1 second before I forget.
Yeah, let him talk. There'll be
So big boat world, you know how there's Bassmaster.
You're a disciple.
Yeah. But then you look out at California and they have that Wild West League.
Yeah.
And that's huge for those pros.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Paul reminds me is that, you know, the main one may hurt, but something like Wild West that's regionally based is going to grow because they don't have to travel. That's why a lot of guys fish that and they don't try to get Neo.
Yes. Yeah. And they don't need to.
No.
And Jake, that's what I was going to ask you, Jake, is this
Paul just
it's
clapped,
like Jake
but he
has
has
been
a
in
fucking soundboard. I'm going to keep talking over you, Paul.
Oh, he's fancy.
Everybody loves the nanny boo boo. Jake, this is why I wanted your input, because you're in the bass boat world, you're in the kayak world, you've done some BFLs, like you've kind of been in the regional area of the big boat world. What does it look like for you with bass fishing nationally, regionally, locally, from your experience? Because I haven't been in it. Alex sure as hell hadn't been in it, and I don't think Frankie's been in both worlds to that
Yeah.
extent.
I mean,
No,
I
not
fished.
regionally.
So I fished a New York division of ABA as a co-angler. So I versed the other co-anglers, and I did that for 2 years, and I learned a bunch of stuff. I got to fish the amazing fisheries, Oneida, Champlain, Cayuga, all that stuff. And then I got tired of being driven around and told what to do, and I said, "Screw it, I'm gonna get a kayak." But the co-anglers were, even the boaters, it was pretty much the same guys at the same region, because it's 3 best tournaments plus a championship, trying to qualify for the ABA national championship. I qualified one year. I went down to Hartwell. That was my first time down there. But it's all the same guys. They all bullshit. They all have a good time. And that's what I see with Slay Nation, especially the college series. I hope these kids, like I said, it's kind of centralized. If you're in PA, it's great because it's 6 hours farthest you're driving. But I want the kids to create friends with other colleges and meet up. Oh, you're only an hour from me at this college. Let's meet up and hit up this lake. Like, I just want it to grow.
No, dude, I think that's the right way to do it. Exactly what I was trying to. You literally swam right into my zone. Like, I think that's the right way to do it. These kids have an opportunity
Unintended.
to never unintended. No. These kids have an opportunity to put their skills on the line, right? But also build this kayak brotherhood. And again, remember, a lot of people forget, like, we have all these opportunities now to make all this money in the kayak realm, right? But this is all built on, like, brotherhood and sisterhood of sitting in this kayak realm. Something different, bucking the system that you needed a $150,000 bass boat to compete in bass fishing.
And when you're in a bass boat world, you just learn to go at each other's throats. Like, these college kids don't need to be learning that. They need to be learning the kayak world where everyone's just down to fish. Like, just good ass time, have fun. Someone's gonna win at the end of the day. But yeah, I did the boat worlds, and those boaters wanted to kill each other. Like, it got bad sometimes. Cops were called. Like, there's crazy stories.
Yeah.
But like,
people shoving weights down walleyes' throats.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, you hit the right. You don't want the check chasers, right?
Yeah.
And that's why, that's like when we started Slay Nation, I added a membership. People are like, "Oh, why a membership?" I'm like, one, that's the lifeblood. That's how you buy insurance and get everything else, when and one, it was a way of, all right, this person is, they're, what do you call it? They're now they're invested, right? Now they're invested in the club, because I fished ABA in Connecticut for 7 years before Slay Nation, and I'll never forget I was a co-angler, right? Competing against the boaters, and one event on one of our bigger lakes here. I remember that morning, I was like talking to the tournament director, who I loved, and like a guy showed up in his big ass beautiful boat. You could tell, thought he was the shit, and he was like, "Hey, how many teams you got here?" And Tom's like, "Oh, we got 12 teams, 12 boats." And the guy's like, "Screw this," and he left, and he was looking for another tournament that was across the other ramp, just to see which tournament had the bigger pot. So could this guy probably has his spots, or who knows? And I just remember thinking to myself, I'm like, "Tom, what was that?" He's like, "Oh, these are guys, they just show up. If they think it's a big pot, they're going to come in. They think they can win the event." And I'm like, "Well, how do you stop that?" They're like, "You can't really, like, we don't have a membership, and this and that." And I was like, so that stuck on my head starting Slay Nation. I'm like, that is the last thing I want, is someone, like, granted, each club is always going to have a hammer. That's just the way it is. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't mind a hammer. That's a cool dude, and doesn't mind educating another younger angler or newer tournament angler and saying, "Hey, I was throwing a black and blue jig and I was targeting docks," whatever. Right. That's what Ryan Nye does.
Hold on.
He fishes,
hold on. Even if he's not, right? Even he's not that nice guy.
Yeah.
Guess what? He's the big villain. And that's the whole club trying to hammer him at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole,
that's
like that's your Joker at that point. Everybody gets to play Batman to slam him.
Yeah, that's and I tell the club that. I go, listen, we don't deal with assholes. I don't want
Yeah.
any of that here. I'm gonna nail it and nip it in the ass. We don't allow this in our clubs. That's not what Slay Nation's about. And it's the same thing, right? It's just like, you know, I've had the same guys fishing with me for 4 years now. They're like my best friends. Some of them are in their 60s. You know what I'm saying? They come and some of them like yes, the community is what we're based off of. It's like, how do you make tournament fishing fun? Right. I have guys that quit tournament fishing, big boat world, because they could not stand the cutthroatness. They weren't having, it took all the fun out of anything. Nobody would talk to each other. Everybody's like this at the weigh in. No one's talking. It's all silent. There's no music. And so they found Slay Nation. He's a good buddy of mine, Dan. And his team name is Richard Van Dan because his buddy's, Rich, and he's Dan. So we call him Richard Van Dan, like, Kevin Van Dam. And every year they come and they're a good team. But he's like, Frank, you helped rejuvenate my love for tournament fishing because it's just fun. And like, that's what it is at the end of the day. Like, I haven't fished any national kayak, events. I want to, because I kind of want to get the experience. Like, what is this all about? Like, what is it like? Like, I'm not used to doing Roadrunner launches. We do shotgun launches.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not used to the kayak people. Y'all are spoiled, bro. You can launch wherever you want. Get the frig out of here. I always bust balls with that. I'm like, what?
Not
Like
anymore.
a virtual captain's meeting. Get the fuck
Hold
out
on,
of here.
motherfucker's got a 30 plus mile an hour boat. Fuck off.
Come on.
About your
Like you meet
Roadrunner
me
launch.
at
Like,
the
get
ramp
outta
at
here.
4 a.m. You're gonna check in. I'm gonna check your boat. I'm gonna check your hog trough, whatever else. You're gonna pay
Get outta
cash.
here.
I'm gonna watch you launch. We're gonna bullshit, have coffee, whatever, crack a few jokes. I'm gonna do my little thing to everybody,
Good
right?
point,
Whatever,
actually.
whatever. Get out there, woo ya, and then I launch, and then I'll go fish, and that's how I view tournament fishing. Is like
I think
love the
as
morning
somebody
part.
who doesn't tournament fish, that's what I would
We
want,
know.
right? As
Yeah.
somebody who does fuck off, Paul. As somebody who doesn't tournament fish, I would want to join a tournament fishing scene to hang out with other anglers, right? That's like, it's a community deal, right? We don't always need to be pushing to be the national best.
No, but it's tough. But you bring up a good point, Alex, is like, and I've talked about this before with other people, like it's like human nature. It seems like everybody wants to be bigger, better, faster. Look at the kayaks now. They're fucking boats, dude.
Nah.
They're boats. I'm like, what is the point?
Not mine.
What is the point of sitting on a kayak that's 3 feet wide when you could just go get yourself a $200 John boat off Facebook Marketplace? You might as well. But
fuck off. No, fuck you, Frankie.
But
real
I'm
quick.
just
hold on.
saying,
fuck you.
Everybody
you want
wants bigger, better, and it's like,
hold on, because I don't have to pay taxes on that bitch, and I have to register it in my state.
Oh,
I just registered mine today.
That's only if you have a motor, yes.
Yeah.
But all right,
I'm
I paid $12.50. But what I'm what I'm getting to is, Alex, like, it's like we all see it. Everybody, because it's on our face, everybody wants to be like announce their pro staff for this company, that because they want to feel like professionals. That's like, at the end of the day, when you rocking a jersey that has logos on it, we all do it because we want to feel like the pros we've always watched, right? We always want to, but how do you get that same feeling in a grassroots way? Right.
Okay.
And that's why we do jerseys every year.
That's a super interesting question. So do you think that's a valid, all right. So in the modern era, do you think that's a valid, so you just said, like, I want to feel like a professional because I rock a jersey. Do you think that's actually a modern take or not? Because I feel like the most of kids, specifically that you're targeting the college and above, they have they understand that social media or content creation is going to give them more money than being a tournament angler.
I don't know.
Well, that's two different things, though.
100%.
So we're talking.
No, 100% the same thing. It's 100% the same thing.
But we're not talking content creation.
No, we are. Yeah, so you talked about being a professional angler, right?
Paul's gonna explode. Let him talk.
No, I like to let him simmer. So a professional angler, right? So if you roll all the way back, my favorite quote, and this was a thing in Jerk Off January where everybody hated us because we gave unpopular opinions, and on TikTok today on our pre-show live. If you guys want to hook up with that, let me know. You can just find us on Wednesdays at 7:30. But somebody wanted to know an unpopular opinion, right? And one of them was I just sent one out there, right? So I'm going to go back to this. It was G-Man himself who said that a professional angler is a marketer, has nothing to do with catching fish. It has to do with selling.
So
Nothing
would
to
they?
do with catching fish.
And I love G-Man, but I think he's a professional angler because he knows how to fish. He's an elite series angler.
Mhm.
Why would they be called professional anglers that has nothing to do with fishing now? Why wouldn't they just be called professional marketer?
There's a
Marketers.
percentage, it's like 30-70, 30% fishing. I'm pretty sure Kevin Van Dam made the quote. 30%
So-
fishing, 70% business.
So
There's-
I think what
Unless-
what we need to
Unless you're
look
like
at
a Jacob
is
Wheeler that doesn't need to market because he just
Yeah.
straight up.
No,
But
no,
we're-
Jacob Wheeler. Hold on, Jacob Wheeler. You're going to mention him.
Oh,
Most of his popularity has to do with his extremely strong content presence. He
I
is
agree, but
huge
he
on
would keep just
YouTube.
fine without it. He's won enough.
yeah, but he could fish. That's the thing.
yeah,
he
he can
wins.
fish. He doesn't need it.
Yeah,
doesn't
he can
need it.
fish in a garbage
we have
format. Correct.
taken this bitch off on the wrong track. The train has derailed, and
This
Alex
might be another
is over
episode,
there
I guess.
burning all the shit that spilled off the railway into
No,
the
I just feel like
atmosphere.
no. All
But,
right.
Hey, I get you. I get you. I get you. Here's the thing. I get you.
Are you going to
I think
defend me
that
at some point on this show, Jabberhammer?
Not at
What
all.
are we doing?
I'm not going to defend you. You're too short. I couldn't reach you to hug you, to pick you up and hug you. I'd miss every time.
Alex,
All right,
how tall
look.
are you that he keeps? How tall are you?
He's
6'4".
4'7", dude. He's the smallest guy in kayak fishing who doesn't.
You're not
tournament fish.
4'7", dude. He's not.
I'm not
4'7".
4'7". I'm 5'7".
That's not
So your
5'7". Not that
kayak
bad.
seats all the way up in your old town is what you're telling me, so you can reach the middle.
It's the second rung.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna start
It's not
wrapping this
that
up.
short.
I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
I want Jake
Mm.
and the head cheese. I'm
Mm.
gonna ask you a question.
What are we
I
gonna
want
do?
Both of you to answer. We're gonna start wrapping it up after this. We have 3 main national kayak trails right now.
Mm-hmm.
In 3 years, counting this year. So we got 23, 24, 25. At the end of 25,
Good count.
what does the national kayak scene look like in 3 years?
Jake, you start that one.
All right. First off, before I get into that question, Paul, can you please get Frankie's woo on your soundboard? Because I think that'd be amazing.
100%.
can't-
It absolutely should be.
Oh,
I will me and Frankie need to hook up. All I gotta do is record it, and I will
Yeah.
replace this sound right here with Frankie.
Yeah, that one's trash.
I'll
You need the
replace
woo.
that sound with Frankie, but I can't replace this sound for Alex.
That's true. Jake,
stupid.
All right,
before we
all
go
right.
here,
All right, Jake,
real
go
quick,
ahead, buddy.
Jake. Hold
All right,
on. No, hold on. If he can interrupt you on that one, Jake, I want to. So we have a shotgun round, right? Obviously, you're a
Mhm.
part of that. Can you give me your best, sound bite for shotgun round?
I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean?
Like the
Just
shotgun
Frankie's
sound.
woo. Frankie's woo. He wants you
Oh.
to
Yeah.
do a
Let's hear it.
Oh,
Let's
sound
hear it.
bite.
So- boom. How's that?
Solid. That's solid.
All right.
All right.
I'm a redneck. I got plenty of shotguns. I know what
Yeah,
that sounds
I
like.
know. That's why I went with you.
All right, fuck Alex. Answer my
All
question.
right. I mean, honestly, I know what you're saying, how you think it could get lower, but I think it'll be the same, maybe possibility of grow. And the reason I say that is because I think with the level of how expensive everything getting, more bass boat guys are going to start getting out of it and going into the kayak scene, which could level it out. That's how I see it. So I think it would stay the same, maybe grow if things get worse because, no one needs to pay the ridiculous amount of money a month for a bass boat. So I think it could grow still with all those bass boat guys.
Do you see one or two of the current of the 3 big trails no longer exist in 3 years?
I could see one leaving.
Okay.
Okay.
Head cheese.
Frankie, what do you got on that one?
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Before you start, I want to hear you shotgun around.
My shotgun like sound.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh, that's
I like
so.
that one.
Come on, Paul.
That's solid.
Paul, I hope you got that recorded.
You got that recorded, dude?
I didn't, but we can do it later. But anyway, answer the question.
I just woke up my daughter. She's right up here, and that's it. That's the only one you're getting. I hear her banging on the floor with her foot.
Hey, my kids, I'm in the garage, and both of my kids' rooms are above this. And my daughter, when I first started doing this podcast, my daughter would be like, she'd wake up in the middle of the night and go and run into our room, be like, "Mommy, I hear voices." It's me down here recording.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God.
All right, head cheese. Next 3 years.
Right, so
three
I agree with
major
Jacob.
national trails. Where are we?
Yeah, so I agree with Jacob. I think all those 3 national trails will be around. I do think that All American Fishing is going to pick up. I think that one's going to pick up. They're slowly building their equity, but I also think there's going to be another, I think there's going to be another series, like another big series that's going to populate. Someone's going to figure out this formula and come up from beneath everybody and change some eyeballs. I don't see KBF, and I don't see them going anywhere. I really don't. I just think they're too popular, right? Maybe their national championship won't have all these numbers and stuff, but they're 10. People love their 10, dude. Like those anglers that qualify for that. That's another prestigious event, the 10. Which Ryan Nye just won.
Yeah,
shout out to Ryan Nye.
Hookset Hoodlums member.
That's right. Hookset Hoodlums member. Connecticut Slayer. So I mean, it's like, this is the thing about fishing. It's exciting, man. Like every year, you never know what's either going to fall off. Right? We saw the KFL happen with that, which I'm in those chats currently. I actually came up with their new logo, just so you know.
They just a dumpster fire.
That's right. It was, dude. It got ugly. It got ridiculous. It was like, screw this, dude. Who needs this? Honestly, that was my thought. I was like, what the hell is this? What's going on? Give me a break. You're letting the inmates run the friggin'
whole nother episode. I feel
that's a whole nother episode. Yeah, from the inside out.
I mean, listen, Bass and Brews historian. That's how Frankie
tonight.
Gets another episode.
Also be an hour and a half to 2 hours long.
Yeah, I know. That's funny. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't like the kayak world. I think that we're gonna see it continue to grow.
Yeah.
But John boat stuff's gonna pick up. I think Jacob makes a really good point that boaters are going to transition. Look at Greg DePalma. You guys saw GDP. Dad? He's from New Jersey. He's fishing a Hobie and some Bass Nation events this year out of the kayak.
Like 3 events.
His old town. Yeah. So that's. I mean, we're gonna see some more. We'll see some more.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, I like GD. He fishes. He could. He's a. You could tell like
a tidal water guy too.
Yeah, you could tell. You could tell these hardcore anglers. Like you could tell when that's the thing about the boating world. Those guys. Those guys are. They live, breathe, and die and eat fishing. I'm sorry. Like the big boat world, like the Elite Series anglers, they do have something different about them. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Yep. It's just they're on the water. That's where they live. And granted, they all come up the hard way. They all have all the same shit. But that's who I like. I look up to a lot of kayak anglers. Don't get me wrong, but the Bassmaster Elite Series and like Kevin Van Dam's and all them, no one's ever going to trump them.
Listen, you're going to see them soon because guess what? I just got a text. This is breaking news.
Oh, shit. You're gonna
breaking news. Listen, KVD himself has just sent me an application.
Oh, damn.
To become part of, and I know you guys are going to think it's a Swamp Rat University. It's not. It's actually the Bass and Brews Academy.
Oh,
so he will be fishing in the next tournament. So make sure you stay tuned.